Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Firewood Doctor. I had some okay sales that were down from last year for Memorial Weekend. So far they haven't been all that spectacular. Nothing sold except this rack, so I already had the wood in the truck, so I figured I might as well get it filled. You'd be using that tool to bring it back, reach in deeper into the truck, but it's on a busy county highway. So I'm thinking like, oh geez, it's all gloom and doom that sales are down, but that gives me time to build inventory for later when things do pick up. So it's a lose, win, win, lose. You lose on one end, but you gain your time back to do other things. Like last year I didn't have a whole lot of time to build inventory because I was busy splitting and restocking. I wasn't in the physical condition to run 2-3 tanks of gas one day, and then split it all the next. Well, now I can run 2 tanks of gas and split it all, possibly the same day. Depends on, the weather and, how heavy it is, how much of a toll it takes me. But I could definitely run 2 tanks of gas in one of the saws, or 1 tank and 2 saws for the weekend, and then split it, and then probably have enough energy left to stack it. But I like doing it when I could do a whole bunch of cutting, like 3-4 tanks of gas in the saws, and then split it up. But then it takes a long time to split with that slow splitter, and it's not even as slow as infamous Glacier from that Chris had in the woodyard. That thing was really slow. I think may have had the O-rings in it or something burnt out where it wasn't running full pressure anymore. But still, at a face cord to 1/3 to a 1/2 cord an hour, it's just really slow, and it seems like on the videos it doesn't take long, but each minute or minute 10 or so I'd have to watch the time more accurately, fly or something, of how much condensed the work looks. So basically you're looking at 45 to 60 times more work goes into it than what the hyperlapse shows. So if you work for 45 minutes, that'll show up like a minute on the video. So in that last video, I had upwards of about 3 hours of splitting total, I think. So it shortens it way down, but there's a whole lot more work that goes into firewood than a lot of people think. They're a delivery truck, not for me, but the people that own the property. So alright, now to get restocking, and let's see what I come up with as we go along. I noticed this basswood, for those of you that didn't catch a previous video, I mixed some of it with ash and pine. It burns great. By itself, basswood really sucks as a firewood. It really sucks. But it dries fast, is light, very lightweight. You can do this stuff with it, and not hurt yourself. Do that with a piece of oak, you might end up hurting yourself. But you mix it with wood that might not be totally seasoned or ready to burn. Some people say it's got to be under 20. Campfire's 25 to 30. This, when I split it last weekend, was running at from 25 to 35%, and it lit and burned just fine. So, but it doesn't really burn all that well by itself. So when I mixed it with ash, the next load of firewood in there, The ash took off really nice. It helps get the other wood going faster. So a good mix would be basswood, ash, oak, pine. You get a little of everything. You get the coals, keep a good, from the oak to keep the coal bed going. And if it kind of starts to snuff out, this basswood, since it lights up so easy, put that on the hot coals, it's going to take off right away. And then you put on your other woods to have a better fire, get a little more heat, get more flame. Basswood initially produces quite a bit of flame. It just doesn't last long. It's got about half the heat content of oak, so it doesn't do very good there. The other problem with the basswood is this bark. This is going on about in these other videos. This bark is absolutely horrible to deal with. It's so stringy. Yeah, you can see that. Makes a big mess. I'm not going to get that wood again unless it's more fresh cut so the bark doesn't peel off and leave big old sheets and chunks. At least it'll spread out, at least by the time I get it cut. And then drying, it'll come off in smaller pieces instead of big old chunks. You know, smaller pieces like this. That's a lot more easier to deal with. You know, easier to rake up, haul away for debris and all that. There's a piece of oak. This is the best thing I ever bought for doing firewood, except for the log splitter. That, the chainsaws. Chainsaws, log splitter, and this tool. Those log tongs are far behind, so they're tied. This is going to be a lot of basswood in this one. What I plan on doing is mixing the basswood with the oak and other hardwoods for campfire wood. For one, people aren't going to be too happy with it. I'm projecting my experience to what campfire wood customer would expect from a fire. They're wanting stuff that'll burn and produce a good flame. Well, this basswood burns, but it's kind of a crappy flame after a few minutes, after the newness where it burns off. So that's where mixing it comes in. So this one's going to be a nice mix. A piece of ash. The basswood has been splitting nice. The wood just pops right apart. But man, you see me struggling in those videos. It's because of the bark. I have to run the wedge all the way down and then some, and then I gotta fiddle with it to get it to split because the bark is holding it together, which does not make for a very good time splitting. what really helped me back to last weekend, the Memorial weekend, what helped was that I had about 3 cords or 3 to 4 cords split, ready to go. And I could just load everybody up. I loaded up every customer except one. Actually 2. One, I wanted to see how much wood, how much room in the back of a truck a 4-foot rack would take, and it took up about almost 2 rows. They had sides a little bit higher than mine, so it was pretty close to 2 of their rows. It would have been it's about 1.5, I think, because it would be just under 2 rows in here. So comparing a newer truck to an old fossil like this one, hard to believe you're calling a 2002 Silverado an old fossil. It is 20 years old now. Hard to believe, 20 years old. There, now we're getting to some more of the oak that was in here. It's emptied out some of the oak into the rack and stock, and then with the split, put a lot of, that was all mostly ash basswood. Now I don't have to stand alongside the truck and chuck it to the back anymore. And just reach. Ash, basswood, oak. I gotta remember to grab some oak that I have sitting over there to try out with the basswood tonight. If I feel motivated, I'll get a fire going, because tomorrow it could rain, and that'll get everything wet and won't light so easy. Alright, disappear off camera for a minute or so. I'm still here, just chucking wood up to the front because it's impossible to reach with the hookaroon. This will lighten up the load on the truck. The way that it's basswood, about 30 pounds of weight. If it was oak, it'd be like a, 500. Trying to get down here to the left of the oak so they don't get stuck with half basswood. My ideal mix would be 50-50 basswood and then anything else. That's just because I want to get rid of the basswood. The easiest working wood I've gotten to use, except for the bark. If it wasn't for the rain tomorrow, I'd be working on getting everything raked up and cleaned up around here. Next weekend, got a mini yard sale. Get rid of a few big items. see what I can all get rid of. One of the items hasn't been on my channel probably for about 4 years now. I only used it once for initial impressions video. Was my 40-volt pull saw. And only one time someone used it, because he went up to the elastomeric coating on the roof of the place I live in. So yeah, you trim back a bunch of branches then. Only time it's used, why keep a tool like that around? But it is battery, so it's not like a gas motor is going to go to pot. But it's taking up space and I want to simplify. I won't replace the pole pruner, but I'll replace the leaf blower with a 40 volt. Yeah, 40 volt. It is 40 volt now. Replace it with an 80 volt unit. Looking at the backpack blower and getting the 80 volt weed trimmer, because my lawnmower is 80 volt. I gave my dad the 40 volt chainsaw, so I don't have that anymore. He loves that for doing a few cuts here and there, you know, when there's a small branch that comes out of the tree, something you can't do with a handsaw too easily. You know, when you're like 70, it gets harder to run a handsaw, so he absolutely loves that little 40 volt 14-inch saw for that. A few more pieces to get. That's good, because I want to clean the truck out anyway. Alright, so the mysterious voice, no image other than what you're seeing with the camera right now. Wet sitting in the back of the truck, but that's okay because it's going to be mixed with the basswood to help keep it going. Yeah, most of the people said just don't care what kind of wood it is as long as it isn't wet. Like some of the campgrounds on here, they have wood, but it's pretty green, it fizzles. And it's like, dude, you want to have happy customers, don't sell them wet, crappy wood that you store under the roof of a pole barn in the shade. It gets no breeze. So there we go. Just that quick to restock one rack, especially when you have the wood ready to go. I got bark chips in here and stuff, so yeah, I'm adding to the mess, but yeah, that's the plan going forward, is to start mixing that basswood. I got ash and basswood mix, so that'll be okay. Those 3 to 4 cords I got sitting there, then I have between 4 and 6 cords. It's pretty inaccurate because I don't remember how many tanks of gas went into the fire end of the pile. So yeah, so I say I have 4 to 6 cords of basswood to mix, probably 4 cords once it's all split and stacked. That was pretty heavy on basswood. Maybe there's only 3 cords left to split. You know, once you get it into splitting around, you kind of lose track of about how many cords are in there. But now I know from cutting on the soft in the soft cutting basswood, I'll get easily a cord per tank, as long as I don't let the saw idle too much. And then ash, by the time it's split, must be one of my customers. Tap the horn. Oh, allergies. Where was I? Oh yeah, it's easy to lose track. You get about, in the ash, I get about 2.5 face cords per tank of fuel run through the 572 XP. So I'm gonna have to check that on oak to see what I can get out of that, if I remember to do that. Yeah, I got a long ways to go on that oak. Couple weeks I'll be working on that cherry. I'll maybe run a tank of gas through that, get some split up, see how that's burning. I know 1/3 of that oak is ready to burn now. I just got to get the splitting and cutting it. So, but first I got to go take care of something else. Actually, I'm gonna go split the basswood. That'll be the next video, but that's the end of this video. So hope you enjoyed the chat. Not my usual video. I don't do a whole lot of monologues. I figured, well, it's a good day to do it, good time to do it. Stocking the rack, and I should do these a little more here and there. When I have thoughts to think about, I'll be doing that here and there, but work that into other videos and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So might be a change in the direction the video's going. It's what I feel comfortable with. That's what I'm mainly getting is what I feel comfortable with. That's the videos I do. I know some of these videos have been real stinkers. So till next, well, that's it, folks. Till next time, take care. Go out there, do something, but have fun doing it. But I can't go have fun yet because I got more work to do over there.